Why is this so zoomed in? It's because it's going the wrong direction. There we go. That was kind of crazy. Welcome. It's Lori. Late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. How is everybody today? Let me see if I can get things set up. That was kind of weird. See if you saw that wonky stuff going on. Oh, and we do have audio. Yay. Hello, Roz. Did you get things assembled today? We got some folks joining us in. Joining in with us, joining us in. You can tell it's been kind of a weird day for me. A little bit crazy. There we go. So how are you, Roz? And did you get your room started? Oh, that's still a lot of progress. Wow. Good for you. Piece by piece. In fact, I think it's probably better if you do those other rooms first, because then you can take your time and get your crafting space set up exactly how you want it. Hot and tired, yeah. So we had crazy weather here today. We had tornado warnings, which are basically tornadoes had been sighted. I went out in the yard and was watching the sky for a little bit. They had, where our family is staying, they had some really severe weather. And in fact, they had on Lake Geneva, which is not the lake that they're staying on, but it's close. The storm came through so quickly, they had a tragic boating accident on that lake today. So a boat had capsized with all of the waves and the wind and everything was going through. They were only able to save 7 of the 10 people that were on that boat. So bad day. Our family, the place that they're renting, that whole area actually around the lake that they're on is without power, and they're expecting the power to be out for 3 to 5 days. So they were supposed to go home on Sunday, so kind of put all of their stuff upside down, you know? Yeah, we have had some weird weather. Luckily, we were kind of spared out by us. But you know, some of these places that they're rental places, and they're not inexpensive. You spend a lot of money on them. You'd think that they would get generators, because now all of the food that they have in there, it may or may not be good by tomorrow when they go back. They tried to load up a bunch of stuff in coolers and stuff and take it to other family in the area. And no, they're not leaving early because they've got flights scheduled. So, you know, we were on our way out by them to take flashlights and dinner and all the things, and all of the plans changed. So sad for them. Luckily, it's at the end of the trip and not the beginning of the trip, I suppose. But, oh, I guess I didn't say my little spiel. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin. A little bit rainy Wisconsin, but it's not raining hard right now. And What else do I need to say? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we're going to pretend it's Friday, July 3rd at 11:59 p.m. because I started coming on time and then it went all wonky. So we have a generator as well. And I originally wasn't on board to get it because I had already been here for 20 years and I had never lost my power for any terribly inconvenient length of time, never for days or anything, a few hours, but not bad. But we did get a generator a few years ago and it's come on a couple of times now since then. So I think it's a good investment. Hello, Rosemary. We had some bad storms come through our area today. Tornadoes, straight line winds, that sort of thing. There was actually a fatal boating incident on one of our small inland lakes. So yeah, it was kind of crummy. Back to fun things. Yes, your goal for Sunday to assemble the furniture. Nice. They can occupy the kids. Guys are good at doing that. And then you and your daughter-in-law can have fun putting everything together and figuring out where you want it. So do you have like felt pads for the bottom of your shelving units? I put those on the bottom of all of mine, even though mine are stationary. It made it easier, like when I set them up, when I was kind of moving them around to see, well, is this really where I want it? You could just slide them easier without scratching the floor. And unfortunately, Rosemary, no, not everybody was okay. Everybody of our family is okay, but not in the boating accident. A boat capsized and there were 10 people on board and they were only able to rescue 7 of them, unfortunately. So prayers for those families that are dealing with their loss this holiday weekend. So welcome everybody. Usually we don't start on such a sad note, but it is what it is, right? Very sad. All right. I am going to just kind of whip through some of our announcements quickly. If you do not have a demonstrator, hello, Juju. Welcome. If you do not have a demonstrator, and if you're not a demonstrator, I would love to help you with your crafting needs. You can find all of my Stampin' Up! Things right here at latenightlori.stampinup.net. Today is Fun Fold Friday because we're making believe that it's still Friday, even though my time zone, we're now Saturday morning. Happy 4th of July, everybody. So, we have a new join experience and it's new and improved. So if you have been a demonstrator before and you dropped and now you're interested in coming back, it's going to be a whole lot easier. So, hit me up with any questions you have, and there's some nice little extras to go along with that. Oh, good. I'm glad you put those on before you move everything out. Yeah, those sliders are nice too. But I just left the felt pads. They're the little dots and rectangles. I left those right on the bottom of the pieces of the shelving in that. Oh, Roz did more cowboys tonight, huh? I clicked into your live, Juju, and then I thought, no, I have to get stuff ready. I'm going to be too distracted. So as usual, I will be looking at a replay later. So don't forget we have new online exclusive that dropped in July. And then we've got our Happy Mail Club. If you are not part of this and would like to be, send me your Lori Macari, or send me your mailing address plus your zip code at lorimacari@gmail.com, and we'll get you on the list. Make a card, send a card. You can use Stampin' Up! Stuff, not Stampin' Up! Stuff, new stuff, retired stuff, stuff in your stash. It doesn't matter. Just let's share cards with each other and let everybody know that we're thinking of them enough to send them a handmade card. And we're going to share our creativity. So that's where tonight's card is coming from, was the card that I got from Roz. That's a fun fold. You're leaving the felt on. Perfect. So, Happy Mail. I did have Shell contacted me about where to post when we've received Happy Mail cards. And Suzanne, welcome. I started creating the post on my Facebook page, but I haven't done that yet. But once I get it done, I need to create a graphic for it, so it'll kind of be eye-catching a little bit. I'm going to try to pin it to the top of the page somehow if Facebook still lets you do that. And then as you're getting Happy Mail cards, if you want to include a picture, a quickie little thank you to somebody, perfect. Okay. And then another question was posed to me about sharing our emails. And I think what would be a good idea is if you feel comfortable sharing more contact information, include that in your card to whoever you send it to. Okay. Rather than me putting it on the list and putting more info on those lists, I think it's just probably you have more control over your information than if you're disclosing it to somebody that you want to give it to. Okay. We have been a little busy with family, but it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. So I am so glad to see that everybody's starting to get their Happy Mail and everybody's getting smiles on their face when they open that mailbox. See, I don't get bills in my mailbox. I get junk mail. Junk mail and Happy Mail, because all of our bills we do online now, right? For the most part. So it's nice to get some real mail from time to time. Here's a new craft class that's coming up July 16th. It is available for purchase. I think, Roz, you're the one that mentioned that the die set that comes with this bundle is an impression die set. So if you want it to look as pretty as what the class is showing, you'll want to make sure that you get this impression plate. It doesn't seem like a plate, but it is. It's a silicone pad, but it's the right shim size to really accentuate the textures that are designed into the dies. Okay, so keep that in mind with your product list. I don't know if that impressions plate, it is. The impressions plate is on the supply list. So make sure you have that. And I need to add this gingham designer paper to my list. I wonder if I did that yet. Let me look at my shopping cart, because I didn't send it off yet because it's been crazy busy. I do not have it on my shopping cart yet. So let's go ahead and put this in here. 168, 218. Hopefully it's not out of stock. So this gingham paper that they're talking about, that's where this green will come from. It's 12 by 12. And I think they're starting to do more designer series paper in 12 by 12 for those people that want to do memory keeping. I'm guessing. I don't know. All right. And if you're on, pardon my reach, if you're on a roll with your shopping cart and ordering, if you have a qualifying order of at least $75 in the US, you can add this product of the month to your cart for just $5. And I'm kind of a collector of things. I have all of the products of the month so far. But beware, if there's something, excuse me, if there's something super cute, like last month, it did sell out before the month was even over. And once these items are gone, they're gone. Stampin' Up! Won't make more to anticipate what they might need to carry them through a month. They project, they produce, and when it's gone, it's gone. Okay? This is a two-step stamping, and it looks like there's going to be fussy cutting. That's some pretty nice fussy cutting, but I didn't see any dies with this, so yeah, it'll be fussy cutting, or cussy cutting, or fussy cussing. All right, and don't forget about Paper Pumpkin. This July kit we can order until July 10th, which happens to be Macman's birthday. These are all easel cards. There's 9 cards, 3 different designs for a birthday theme. We're done with our sneak peek Saturdays for just a bit, for just a few weeks until there's some new products that are going to be sneaking out. And because as a demonstrator, yeah, or just cussing, right? As demonstrators, whether you're a hobby demonstrator, or shall we say just a hobbyist or a kitnapper, whether you like just stamping with a couple of friends or family, if you're building a business, doesn't matter. When you join Stampin' Up, you get certain perks, all right? One of them is early access to catalogs, early access to products, discounts, and you also have the opportunity to get commissions too. So if you build a team or anything, you get some commissions too, and based on your sales and whatever. So just like a lot of other places, you know, that you have direct sales. So we don't have Sneak Peek Saturday tomorrow, or later today rather. I am going to take the 4th of July off. So I will not have a video at midnight-ish for the 4th of July. All right, so we're going to be patriotic today. We're going to do a Fun Fold Friday, and then I'll be back on Sunday for our Sketch Challenge Sunday. All right, so let me get these things out of the way, and let's try to rock and roll a little bit. And those of you who are local to me, I didn't show my schedule, but the next thing is our coffee and a card on the 15th. Open studio time, I think, on the 20th. The 25th, I've got a scrapbooking class. And 25th, 26th, 27th. I think the 28th is when I'm going to do my Stamp a Stack. Boo. Yeah. So tonight, for Fun Fold Friday. Woohoo! Who's ready for that? This was the Happy Mail that I got from Roz, and I thought, perfect. I'm going to use that as our Fun Fold. Now, I have to say, I have done this Fun Fold before, but never like this. Okay? The measurements are the same as what I've done, but the way it's put together is a little different. So when I've done this Fun Fold before, this mechanism strip has gone all the way to the edge, so this middle piece is flat. Now this one is designed so that it's pushed in a little bit, and then this center set never really goes flat, but it doesn't stick out the edge of your card. So I thought, you know, that's a novel idea. I would not have thought of that. So we're going to go ahead and make this. And like I said, we're going to do kind of a patriotic card. All right. So I have some of it ready and some of it is not ready. Of course, we're going to be using red, white, and blue. Okay. And I also thought we would incorporate this Service Essentials stamp set and dies. So this is a bundle. I have not used this yet. I was pretty excited to get it, and then I have found that I didn't use it yet, unfortunately. And then I needed some stars. So we have some stars here, and in fact, I don't know that I realized that was there. That might work better. Oh no, they're going to be too far apart. Disregard. Because we're going to do like a flag design. We're going to go all out patriotic. And then that's going to be the front of our card. And then on the inside of a card, we're going to put some of these things and just, we're going to wing it for the inside. We're going to wing it, and we're just going to see how it turns out. I love this star. This reminds me of when I was in Girl Scouts. We had our like years of service stars, and they were raised like that, and that's what that reminds me of. All right. Let's go ahead and put this aside. I figured we would do our base in white so that everything else stands out. White's going to be our neutral back. So I went ahead and I scored it at 5.5 because we're going to do this landscape because that's going to be our flag on the front. All right. So I scored it at 5.5, cut it at 4.25, and now we're going to go ahead and burnish this. We're going to get all our little parts and pieces. So there's the front. All right. And then I'm going to do another piece, and I'm going to cut that. I'm probably going to have to measure it down just a little bit, but I'm going to do it 4 by 5.25, just so that we've got kind of a base for our flag. So I'm going to do 4 by 5.25. All right. And then for the red, we need a bunch of stripes. All right. We're going to create a flag for the front. All right. Because this part I already have kind of planned out. So we're going to create a flag. We're going to have stars and stripes. We're going to have, it's going to look like a flag. All right. Because it's the 4th of July, right? So what I did was I played around a little bit and I made a bunch of stripes out of cardstock because I thought, oh, it's easy enough, it'll work. I started them, I did a little bit of math, and I thought, okay, 3/8 of an inch should work. All right. It got too big. So if you do your stripes, if you're recreating this card, my stripes, what I decided fit best. Hello, Nicole. Welcome from Perth, Australia. And it's not Independence Day for you, but it is for us. Let's see. I got my little note here where you are, what, 14 hours ahead of us. So it's like, is it 2 in the afternoon-ish by you? All right. So anyway, if you're going to recreate this card, and Nicole, it's our Independence Day. It's our 250th anniversary for our birthday, rather, 250th birthday for the United States' independence. So we'll have lots of celebrations throughout the day and the weekend. So if you're going to recreate this, I would recommend making this 1/4 inch by 5.25. All right. So if you just take your piece, make it 5.25, cut off a bunch of strips at 1/4 inch. Do the same thing with the white ones. We will end up with, hang on, we will end up with this. All right. So these can all go right on here. And that's why I said I might have to trim this down just a little bit. All right. But I wanted this to be proportionate. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing these on. Now I could have used an adhesive sheet. I could have used tear and tape. Any of those would probably be good. I'm just going to use glue. All right. Now this is my layer that's 5.25 by 4. So thank you, Nicole. And when is Australia, or yeah, when is Australia's independence? I was thinking it was January, but I'm thinking that's not right. We've had this conversation before and I don't remember. So these I can just start putting pretty much flush right up here. And I made white strips as well. You could do just the red stripes or just white stripes if you're going to put it on red cardstock, and then just use like a spacer piece if you wanted. Like I could go like this and glue my next red one on and then take the white one off, and you would save paper that way. But I wanted them all to be the same layer, the same thickness. So I'm just gonna, if I would have had time, I would have started this and then had by the magic of television, had one all ready to go, but that didn't happen. Did not happen. But hopefully this won't take too long. So those of you in the United States, who's got any plans? I know, Roz, you'll be chilling with your family, probably by the pool. Because I think you said Sunday, are you putting everything together? I'd have to look back again. January 26th. Okay, I was right then. My parents' anniversary had been on January 27th, so that date was kind of in my head, but I wasn't sure. So you became united on that date. Very cool. So how do you celebrate in Australia? Do you have like parties and cookouts? Because that's summer for you guys, right? Because aren't you in a cold season now? Oh, I should have put that on the other side. It's all right, it'll be fine. The way I cut it, these are actually the edges from the bottom side of the paper, but it'll be all right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a piece of adhesive on here. Oh. Oh. So there was a little resistance there. I'm going to get an adhesive sheet because that's going to make our lives a little bit easier. So let's just see. I don't know why I didn't think of that a little sooner. So we need 2 3/8 by 5 1/4 ish. That'll make things easier. Well, if I can get this backing off. Oh, that one's not working very well. It's nice to hear more cards are going out. And I will try to get that post done because I would love to see all the cards everybody's getting too. That's pretty close. And I'm still going to put a little bit of glue on the next red strip because, oh, I guess I should peel this off too. Because otherwise it's not going to stick. All right. So I'm missing a bunch of adhesive here. So I'm going to put some glue on here because I was too rough and impatient and peeled it off too quickly. So I'll put some glue here and in a couple of places I missed. There, that should work. All right, so let's go back to piecing this down because this should be a lot easier now. So put your little adhesive sheet on your layer before you start. It'll make your life easier. Because I'm just thinking, oh, to put glue on each one of these strips is going to be pretty time consuming. Now the other thing that's going to be a little time consuming is the stars on the blue background, because we could either emboss them or I can die cut them, because I did find some little dies that might just work. All right, so we've got 13 stripes, which represent the first 13 colonies. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I can cut this part off. I knew I was going to have to trim that down a little bit, but that's going to end up going here. Now, some of these edges are not exactly straight, so I'm going to just use my long blade scissors and straighten those out. And this other side is probably good enough. All right, so this is going to go here, and I think I will put it up on, well, I might not put it on dimensionals. Let's see how thick the inside's getting, okay? So that'll go here, and then let me pull this in. This piece is going to go here. Now this is 2 1/4 by 1 7/8, 2 1/2, 2 1/2 by 1 7/8. And that's pretty proportionate, I think. So when we do our stars, we're going to have 50 stars on here. And we'll have 5 rows of 6 and 4 rows of 5. So I think I will do this off camera. Now these are this itty bitty little star die that came from this. No, that's a stamp set. Let me see. Now I don't remember which one I got it from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13. So it's not from this one. I thought it was from the packaging ones. I'll find it. I'll find it when I'm cleaning up. Oh, here. It's, no, because that's a stamp set. I don't know. I had this star from something. It's current too, I'm pretty sure. Let's just look up star again. Oh, you know what else would work for this? There are the Wonderful Stars puffy stickers. They come black and white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'd have to get 2 packages to get enough white stars to go on here. And I don't know if you know, $8 is a lot to get some puffy stars. So I think it's less expensive to just do your die cutting. I cut these out 2 at a time. So these will go here. And I'll have 6 across here. I know it's a little putsy, but if I get this done, I'm going to give it to our nephew, who is I can't, he's not active duty anymore, but he was in the Marines. And he did a tour of duty in Iraq for sure. I don't know where else. So that would be a row of 6. Oh, Nicole, how awesome for you. You'll be able to get lots of crafting done. And catch lives. Perfect. So at least one of these, there we go. I was gonna say at least one of these has 2 stars stuck because I did it with 2 layers of cardstock. And I'm just thinking this is gonna look so much nicer than embossing them in white embossing paste. I just think this is going to look really cool. It'll be worth, to me, it'll be worth the effort. Okay. So we're going to do, there'll be 5 rows of 6. I'll probably have to put these a little closer together. And there'll be 4 rows of 5, and that'll be our 50 stars. All right. So I'm not going to do the whole thing because you'll kind of get the idea. All right. Unless you really want to watch me do the whole thing. I'm guessing not, but I think that's the last one that I had double. So you kind of get the idea. That's as many as I had time to cut out before it was like, oh no, it's midnight. All right. So we'll get 50 stars on there, and we will do I might even just do some numbers. Like we've got a sentiment that says happy, I think, like happy Halloween night. We could do those and just put happy 4th on that. And then I can use, are there numbers in here? Maybe there aren't numbers in here. I'll figure it out. But I think I'll probably just put like happy 4th on the front of this. So you can you can get the idea, right? You got the idea? So I'm going to move this off to the side here, so I can get those all laid out, because I'll have to scooch those all up because my middle row of stars is going to have to go right about here. So these are all going to have to get scrunched up. But I think I should be able to fit 50 on there. I know, it is a shame we can't speed up. And maybe when I redo this, maybe I was thinking I could probably do it on adhesive sheets, and that would speed things up too. So I'm just going to leave that there. You kind of get, well, I could probably just leave this here. You get the idea. But I like how that's going to look. So these strips, like I said, were 1/4 inch by 5 1/4. This is 2 1/2. 2 1/2 by 1 7/8, and then all of your stars. Okay. The other thing that we could do is, if you have, like, there's a star here for this playful packaging. And I could stamp it on there using like washi tape to line it all up. I could do it in Versamark and emboss in white. This is a bigger star though than that die. And there's also in here these hollow stars. So we would only get the outline if I embossed those. And then I couldn't get them spread out quite as nicely either. There would be more blue space than there should be. So these are a little smaller than I wanted. So that's why I think I'm just gonna stick with those cutouts, okay? So let me put these back because I'm not gonna use them. And then let's get our inside flowing. Let's see what we want to do on the inside. Yeah, I'd like to just be able to go, hey, all done. All right, so on the inside then, let's start doing our fun fold. And we will need layers for the inside here. So if we look at the card that I got from Roz again, she's got just some plain paper on the inside. So I did find this paper. Now granted, this is blue and white, but when I used my red alcohol blend over the blue stripes, it seemed like it was okay. So do we want our, and I could look for some other paper too. I was looking for my sweet bug paper because I thought that had like the red gingham, like it could be a tablecloth behind here. I thought that might be cute too. And that's in red. So do we want our mechanism white, red, or blue? And that's going to be 1.25 inches by 11. What do we think? Red, white, or blue for the mechanism. And then the squares would match. Maybe navy blue, Night of Navy. I'm going to cut this in 1.25 inches. And then, so here's 1.25 inches by 11. We're going to score it at 5.5, and we're also going to score it at 2 3/4. And if you flip it over and do 2 3/4 again, you're basically just folding it in half and in half. Okay, that's how it works out. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish these folds. So that I've got this pretty straight. And then this will come in here. And then if I do my squares in Night of Navy also, those are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 square. So let me cut 4 of those. And I'm just gonna, some of these edges are a little rough, even though my blade's not old. I think it's the cardstock more than the blade sometimes, because some of these papers seem like they're not always exactly as thick as the others. Like, I know the basic white is a little thinner, and I'm just going to lay this flat-ish. But that's just going to get those little rough edges off of there. And this is just a cheapy emery board. I don't know where I even got it. All right, so these will come here. So now we could do 4th of July. Hello, Donna. Welcome. We could do a couple of these stars, do you think? We could do thank you for your service. And I'm going to get this printed. Or stamped. Don't lose that. I'm going to get this stamped. On some copier paper, some printer paper, so that I can see the designs when it's inside the stamp case. Oops. That'll be good enough. You've probably all seen me do this before, but for anybody who's new, this is how I get it ready for the inside of my packaging, because I like to see all of the pieces. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. Welcome to Fun Fold Friday. So then I'm just going to use some Stamp and Seal here. And then this flimsy carrier sheet I'm going to put on top of that. And then let's wash this. Oops. And then this can go right in like this. And we can see all of our stamps now. So when I take something out, I can tell that something's missing. So let's do thank you for your service. And I think we should maybe emboss that. If I did another blue piece, or I could do red piece, and that'll be another layer, will be 2 by 2. So we could do red. Whoops, it keeps sticking to my fingers. Red and white. Red and white. What do you think of that for the inside? So if we did this in white embossing powder, that might look nice. Just use our embossing buddy to reduce the stack. And I'm just going to try to line this up on my grid here and hopefully get it straight. And then we'll get baby Hank out here. My embossing or my Versamark might need to be re-inked. I'm just going to let that sit on there for a second. Just wondering, do you have to wait until next month to get the address list? No, you don't. It's on my to-do list. Let me just pull that up. I sent it out just a few days ago. So I haven't typed your name on there yet, Tanya, and I have one other one to add too. So I'll try to get that done soon, okay? Because I will send it out every time there's, you know, like at least 2 changes. Like if somebody's given me a birthday or if we've had new people. Now I've got 2 new people to put on. And there was a birthday, I think. I think we had Rosemary's birthday that got added. I was trying to get a little heavier embossing powder on that service. There we go. Let me get a brush because there's some powder here that I don't want. You probably can't see that, but I can. All right, let's warm this up and see how it looks. Well, I'm just glad you're in the club, Tanya. All right. That looks good. Let's get this covered up so I don't make a mess. What else do we want on our little pieces here? So I'm going to glue that right there. I wonder if we could fancy it up a little bit. If I used the stitched, that might look nice. Let me get my little Betsy out here. We'll see how that looks. Oh, I think that looks nicer. Can you tell? I think it looks better with the stitching on there. Hopefully you can see the stitching. I think that makes it look nicer. Let's see about, this one's probably too small already. I think I want to cut new blue ones with the stitch dies, because I think that'll look nicer. What do you think, stitched or plain? Does it matter? The stitched. Yeah, I think it does. Very cool. All right, I'll get these ready here. It just finishes it off a little bit more. Now these will fit fine. That is like so close, but it made it. And we'll do these white ones. Ooh, that one was pretty perfect too. Right around the edge. Those look nice. All right, I think those look much better. And then let me cut out a few of these. All right, so these are slightly bigger, but that's not going to be a problem. That'll work out just fine. The stitched edge definitely makes it look more finished. And I need one more scrappy piece. There we go. All right. That took a little bit, sorry. All right, so now we need to decide what to put on these other three pieces. So if we're going to use this Service Essentials pack or stamp set, what do you think? And I'm still going to try to find my buggy paper. Sweet as a bug. I thought I just had that paper out recently too. Here it is. The star, I really like this star. So this is not quite the same red. So do we like the stripes? If I colored the stripes red and white, or do you think the tablecloth kind of color? The stripes. All right, so let's get this star out here. And how should I do the star? Should that be with like gold or silver embossing? Or just a flat color? Because I've got silver embossing powder, I've got copper. I don't really want copper. Or we could do white. We could do it on a red one. I've got gold and silver. All right, so let's think about gold or silver for this star. If we want it on the white piece or the red piece. And then let me cut this down to the right size. All right, so if we do silver. All right, so silver or gold or white on here. All right, hopefully I have another piece of this striped paper. All right, let me get rid of the tablecloth paper. Okay, that's from the lakeside stuff. You know, have you had those days where I just had something out and then where did I put that paper? That was like the lakeside retreat paper. Let me get the cardstock out of here. That will help a little bit. And my adhesive sheets. Okay, here we go. So another piece of that, perfect. Okay, so let's move these up. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down so I don't lose it. Of course, you know, with all of the others, we could put stars on all of them. We could do gold, silver, and white, or we could do red, white, and blue stars because We can put Versamark and Night of Navy on a white one. The June paper pumpkin had a firework. Yes. I think I used up all of that though. There was a stamp set though. That's a good idea. I just have to find it. We could also do just the die, because here's the add-on die with that little firework in there. Let me do this on a scrap of red, and let's see how that looks. So here's the little fireworks. If I cut that to fit here, do you like that? Let's cut it out so we can kind of see it with the border and see what we think. Yeah. And then we've got all these little star pieces too. I think it might be time to replace my plate for my mini, huh? When it's hard to see through it, it's probably seen better days, right? And that would need to be on white. We would back it in white. What do you think of that? And maybe do another white piece here. So let's do... So we could put this little firework. Oh, I need that, make that smaller, I guess. I thought I was making it small enough. And then this one could come over here. Hello, Allie. Oh, we could do some of these too where it's a little wonky if we wanted. So what do you think that fireworks there? It's Fun Fold Friday, Allie. And I'm going to start coloring. And I'm just going to use the side of my blends. Kind of like I do when I'm coloring a ribbon. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The blue stripe on here is not perfect, but I do want to try to color or cover most of that. Oh, that's getting a little messy. Part of it's going to get covered up though, so I think it'll hopefully be all right. My hand is not as steady as I would like it to be when I'm making stripes, right? I thought if I held it like this, it would be better. Whoa, that was close. I thought it would be better, but I'm actually having a better time doing it this way. And this might not have the desired effect. We'll have to see if we like it. I could also use some of the red striped cardstock and just put it right over there, but then we're adding more bulk. We'll see how it looks. Maybe I just have to get warmed up. Because I'm doing a little bit better now as I go outside the lines. So how's that looking from your vantage point? I don't even know what this fun fold is called. Roz, do you know what this is called? Here's a sample though. It's kind of like an M on the inside. And I did give some measurements. The banner mechanism is just 1 1/4 by 11. Scored at 5 1/2, scored at 2 3/4, turn it, scored again in 2 3/4 so that you make that M. And then we're just decorating it. These squares are 2 1/4 and the layers are 2 by 2. And then you just decorate to your heart's content. So that's where we're at right now. You know, part of the problem, I've got this little glob of glue on here, like a glue dot that was catching my finger when I was going on my rows here. Okay, let's put this in here and see how it looks. All right. So if we have this here, and then this will be on the front. So do you think that's bright enough, or should I just use white cardstock and maybe not the striped stuff? I think if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to put more strips on there and glue it. What are we thinking? Do you like the stripes? The colored stripes? Or should I just start putting cardstock strips so that it looks the same as the front? The inside looks a little messy to me with this piece. I don't know that I like that. So let's do, where did all my strips go? We could do one white with red stripes. This might look better. But I do not know what this fun fold is called. What should we call it? A middle M fold? All right, I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to slide it under here and see which we like better. I think the brighter one. Because I think that just looks much cleaner. This looks a little dirty to me. Yeah, I think the nice clean stripes is more respectful looking. How's that? Do we like this firework in here? I think that's kind of fun. I just need to trim this a little smaller though. The clean one, yeah. I agree. So if we put that one there, we could even make it go sideways, but then it's going to be off balance. We could maybe make those go sideways if we wanted. Or not. All right, let me get a piece of real red. And then we could do white stripes on this side. And see how that looks. So these stripes are a little bit thicker because they were the ones that I had originally done that were too big. I think that's kind of fun. Would you agree? And then did we decide on the star? Do we want a star on each side? One gold, one silver. Both of them red, both of them blue. All right, so I'm gonna move this out and I'm gonna just start gluing these. And we can decide both blue. And should I emboss it so that it's shiny? Okay, I think that's pretty darn close. I'm going to use a little washi tape, I think. Yes, emboss it. Alrighty. I'm going to use a little washi tape. And I'm going to hold these down. Okay. Since I have them spaced pretty well here, you're going to have to bear with me while I glue this. Because the inside's kind of, we have to kind of finish that one so you can see how the fun fold looks. All right. Now this white layer that I'm putting these on is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so when I go to emboss those stars, I'm going to put Versamark on my stamp first, and then I'm going to put it in the Night of Navy ink, and then we'll put it on the paper. And it should be good. It'll look shiny blue. All right, so we've got gold and silver and blue. Well, that's going to be hard to do. Whoops. I know the different color stars. Well, I should say I'm pretty certain the different color stars mean different things as far as rank. I worked at the VA for 2 years, but I don't, and I have a listing of all of their like emblems. This washi tape is really sticky. It's pulling off some of the cardstock. It is not bigger, even it's our size is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, so it's the same size as any other. Like here's another one that I did. It's the same size as our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 or 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. I think the flag definitely makes it look different, bigger maybe, and maybe the bright colors too. And so just as a reminder, I will not be doing a live video later today, Saturday night, the 4th. I'm going to take the time off unless all the family stuff, because of the weather, if they decide not to do anything at an alternate location. Because right now they've relocated to other kind of local family that's in Kenosha. Yep, this washi tape is super sticky. So you won't quite get to see the front of this card tonight because I'm going to have to cut more of the stars and glue them all. The rest of the stars I might put on adhesive paper though. Well, stripes do you usually, when you have the stripes going sideways, it does usually make us look bigger, right? That's why we try to get stripes that go up and down to make us look slender. And this layer is 4 by 5 1/4. Yep, 5 1/4. Where's my thing here? My marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut it just a smidge long. All right, so there's that part. I think that'll look kind of fun. And then let's go ahead and relocate these for now. I'm not over chubby, I'm under tall, okay? And I'm shapely if you consider round a shape. Not that I'm that big, but in my aging years, I am carrying more weight than I would like to, but you know, what are you going to do? I will say though that when I went to my cardiologist this last week and she looked at me, she's like, well, you don't look like you're heavy. And I'm like, well, that's very nice, but I mean, I do need to lose weight. She says, yeah, but you carry it well. You don't look super heavy. Well, thank you. And here I'm just going to kind of line these up on the opposite one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this down so it doesn't move. Suzanne, I feel you. I can identify with that. I have gotten like 2 inches shorter over the years, and I think it's, I think I've had some I've got some bulging discs. So I think it's just part of the aging process as our body kind of breaks down. I mean, I used to do track and gymnastics and all the things. Not anymore. I saw something the other day, though, that we just need to embrace our happiness and not notice some of the flaws that we're overly critical of ourselves about. And I thought that's really good advice that I'm very poor at taking. When I see pictures of myself, I'm always, oh, you know, your belly looks heavy, or, you know, you look really frumpy, or whatever. I'm comfortable. And I can't wear high heels to make me appear taller because It's been 13 years. 2012, I think, is when I fell and I landed so hard on my, I landed on my hands and knees, but my foot was up like this, so my toes went right into the flooring, and I broke my big toe. And it was a spiral fracture, so it did this, it twisted on itself and compressed. So I can't wear high heels. Plus I have bunions. So I'm under tall. But that's how I was made, and I just need to try to be better at accepting it. All right, last stripe. I think this looks much better than the colored DSP. Because this does look dirty to me. When I first did it, I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. But then when I decided to do the cardstock stripes on there, it's like, no, that's better. All right, so for this piece, remember this is 1 1/4 by 11. Scored at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. Yes, 8 1/4. And what we're going to do is, like I mentioned early on, when I have done this fun fold before, this mechanism piece for the banner pieces has gone clear to the edges. And then when you fold it up, it goes clear to the edges. So this one, if we move it in a little bit, this doesn't lay flat anymore, and those center pieces will stay up even when your card is open all the way. Sometimes it pulls so that your card won't lay flat when it's open. So I like this idea that it doesn't go all the way to the edges, and then we're still within our outer edges of the card. So let's get some glue on here. Round is a shape. All right, so I am going to go ahead and put this one right here. And I'm going into the edge of where that layer is, so where these stripes end. And hopefully we're straight. I'm going to scooch up just a little bit maybe. It's the beauty of the multi-purpose liquid glue. All right. So now what we can do is put glue here. And then when we close our card, it'll be in the right place without struggling. Okay, so let's hold this down. All right, and that lined up exactly where I needed it to. Aren't you impressed? I am. Woohoo, it worked. All right. So there's that. All right, so I think I want this one. Maybe we want the blue ones on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and put this. I kind of like that firework on there with the cutout. And that's from the Paper Pumpkin add-on dies. I haven't glued those on yet, so we'll see where we want them to lay. All right, so let's get some embossing done here. We're gonna emboss both of these. I think we're gonna do blue stars. And Donna, yes, we are our own worst critics. All right, let me get my Night of Navy ink. I only have the Secret C over here. And I am going to get a scrap piece here. And I'm going to make sure that this is going to stamp nicely. Beautiful. I love that. All right. So we are going to put Versamark on here. And I'm going to get my other Versamark pad because that might have a little bit more ink. All right, so we're going to Versamark this up quite a bit. We're going to go ahead and put the blue ink on. And more blue ink. Hopefully that's straight enough. And then white embossing powder. No, clear embossing powder. Good thing I questioned myself. All right, clear embossing powder. And we'll just let that sit on here while we do the next one. Now I want to clean this off so I don't get Night of Navy in my Versamark. So when we put the Versamark on first, when we flip it over, that's going to end up being the top layer of ink when we take the stamp off. All right. I really like this stamp. All right, and more clear powder. We'll let that sit for a second. And if all of the clear embossing powder doesn't come off and part of it's shiny, I don't care. Really, I don't care because it's clear. All right, let's get my tweezers and the baby ink. I love heat embossing. That is very pretty. All right, so this is going to go here. And we'll get this one done. Thank you, Juju. We're just flying by the seats of our pants. Because I only had an idea, not a really good one. Not a finalized one. I didn't have a plan, I just had an idea. Those can get glued on. We can get some of this debris put away. Oh, I got all kinds of little hearts. I forgot, or little stars, those itty bitty little stars. I don't think we'll use those from there. All right, glue. It got a little curvy from the heat gun, but it's behaving. My glue, on the other hand, not so much. It doesn't really want to come out. All right. I think that looks silly. How's that? Is that all right? Now this would be nice if I had those, the Wonderful Stars puffy stickers. We could embellish with a few white stars that I think would be quite pretty. Okay, what did I do with my stylish shapes? There they are. All right, let me attach these then. I'm just going to put some kind of in the middle and know that at least I've got 1.25 inches. Now, what would have been smart, you do you, don't do me. I should have attached these to that strip before I glued it in. That would have been the wise thing to do. And I want to make sure this is straight. That would have been the wise thing to do. But since I didn't, we'll make do. And I want to make sure my star is going the right way, right? And the nice thing about this strip having that little leeway there, you can actually fold your card inside out like that to get it flattened. So that was super convenient. So just think, when you send me happy cards, yours might get featured as a recreated card. That looks pretty good, I think. I think my camera's a little crooked, huh? I just noticed. And again, I want to make sure that my star is going the right way. Let's scooch that over there. All right, so there's the inside. very patriotic. All right. And then let me put this away. I'm going to get that Halloween bundle. It's got the word happy in it. And instead of Happy Halloween, we're just going to say Happy 4th. There we go. So we've got Happy. And I'm going to do that in navy blue. Night of Navy. Happy. And let's go ahead and put an adhesive sheet on that. Because that will make it easier to work with. The spiderweb die is awesome. If you go back to like June 14th or 15th, maybe, I was preparing my swap cards for the Riverton demo event. And I used this on the Luster Luna paper and made dies for my swaps. They were really cute. We created them on the fly here, and I got them done. I got them all prepped before I left that I just had to assemble. All right, let's make sure we do the die cut on the correct side. My mother used to always struggle with this. She would put her adhesive paper on, and then she would put her die this way and wonder why the sticky part was up. So put the sticky side down. Now, I do have an old die set that had like all the holidays listed, you know, like Happy New Year's, Happy Anniversary, Merry Christmas, all of the things. But they're not current anymore, obviously. I thought maybe, oh, here. Like here, Happy New Year. I still have them, and I could use something like that. But since they're not current, we'll just use the current stuff. Because not everybody would have that old set. All right, so here's going to be Happy. Oops, one more little polka-dot out of there. Happy, and then I need to find something that's got numbers on it so I can say 4th. I may have to pull out some of my old dies after all. Let's get this put away. The mini alphabet. I don't think that's got numbers in it though. This set? I don't think there's any numbers. There's no numbers. Unless you're thinking of something different. Because that's just the alphabet. You would think there would be something. I know I have some because I had for some scrapbooking stuff. I'll find them. I'll find something that'll work. All right, so here's the inside. We'll have to write our greeting on the back because there's no room in here to write. And I'm okay with that. There's how it looks standing up. And then this will go on the front with all of my little stars. I will cut more of these on an adhesive sheet. I don't want to put you through the pain of watching me die cut all of those though. And then we'll put happy on here and 4th. And I'll find a 4th. That might be in the same... Give me a second here. So I don't think there's anything current that has that. Let me see if I can search anything. Nope. So I don't think there's anything current that's got numbers on it. Put this away though. Can anybody else think of another one that's got numbers in it? I know I have some numbers, I just don't know which ones. It'll be older ones. Is my guess, because I cannot think of anything current that has numbers. Oh, here's the seashells I was looking for last night's card, though. All right, let me go get some dies from across the room here. I know I have some. I found a set that's got all the words, but I'm not seeing Independence Day or the 4th of July. Thanksgiving, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Easter. All right, not that one. Here we go. Okay, how about the playful alphabet dies? Because that's got numbers. There's a number 4. Happy. Fourth. And I wonder if it's got a little TH. No, it doesn't. All right, let's do this in navy blue too. Are these the ones you were thinking of, Juju? There we go. And then maybe I should just use not the journaling pen because that's black. But I could use, I do have a Night of Navy marker because I never got rid of my markers. Because if they still work, why get rid of them, right? All right, so let's put happy on here, knowing that this is going to go here. And in fact, I could glue that on there, I suppose, but then I got to move all the stars. All right. Happy 4th. And then I'm just going to carefully write TH. There. All right, so I will get this finished and I will post a picture on my Facebook page. Thank you, Roz, for the fun fold. So here is the one that I received. And here is the one we've made. Pretty fun. Same fold, but totally different cards. Well, thanks for popping in with me, Nicole. It's always good to have you join in. Thanks for the hearts. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on so I don't lose it. Just get that pretty well centered here. Now this one's pretty thick. Russ didn't have any extra postage on hers, and she's got a lot of dimensionals on here. So, well, yeah, she's got a lot of dimensionals. There's dimensionals on all these layers with the birds, which I think is really pretty because it sets them off. But we didn't do any dimensionals in here, so ours isn't going to be as thick, so we shouldn't need any extra postage at all. This will go up here. And I will add the stars in an orderly fashion so that I've got 50 stars on there. We'll just kind of lay these on here so you get the idea. Just know that there's going to be 50 of them. All right, so thanks for helping me figure it out. I'm glad you all joined me. It's more fun to craft together. Took a while, but you know, it is what it is. And if we're all late owls or night owls, we're all night owls. So as a reminder, we've got Sketch Challenge Sunday coming up. I will not be doing a video late on July 4th here because we've got family here and I'm not going to try to stress about coming back and doing another card. So enjoy your holiday weekend, everybody in the United States, and just enjoy your weekend, everybody else globally. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, happy crafting.